Hello and welcome to Raptors Today. I'm Randy Urban and I'm joined by Sherman Hamilton and Paul Jones talking about the Raptors' loss to the Indiana Pacers. 111-91 is the final. Fellas, Sherman, I'll start with you. What went wrong for the Raptors? Everyone wants to talk scheduled loss, but everybody's in this situation.
Yeah, I think obviously a second game of back-to-back, first off. No excuses. However, I mean, Tyrese Halliburton got it going early in the game. I mean, he was 4 or 5 from 3 in the first quarter. This was a guy who was knocking down shots at a high clip, and offensively, you could see the Raptors wanted him to score and not assist as much and get everybody else involved, but he still had 11 assists in the game. Mm-hmm. But it's a problem when a team has a guy who can stretch your defense consistently and really expand, and especially when you're running screen and rolls and you're pulling guys like Jakob Poeltl away and he can't drop, he's got to get his feet above the three-point line. It's difficult, and a lot of times they got Yak in those positions, and Tyrese made shots, and then Miles Turner was making shots. He's pulling bodies away from the basket. So it's a difficult matchup for the Raptors, and you don't have Scottie on the floor. Right. So you're dealing with not the intense length that you have in Scottie on the defensive end as well.
Well, those two guys go 12 of 14 from 3. Yeah. The Raptors make 6. You know, it's amazing that they only lost by 20. You make 6 threes, you're not going to win any game.
It's interesting because the Raptors were on a streak that had only been bettered by the Cleveland Cavaliers of double-digit 3 balls made in a half. They had 3 consecutive halves going into the Boston game where they made at least 10 threes in a half. Cleveland has the longest streak of the year at 4. So the three-point shooting was going. It slowed down against Boston, and you guys both talked about it. On the second night of the back-to-back, it's the second half where the legs die. Yeah. And we saw it in Toronto. Hey, look at the other game. Last night where Detroit beats Boston. It's 55 all at halftime, and Boston loses by 20. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of par for the course. I did like the fact that they chose to get some of the young guys involved. Mm-hmm. Give them more time. I just have loved the way Jamal Shead has continued to develop and play. I mean, I look at him now, and I still have to remind myself that this kid's a rookie. Right? He is a 4-year player from a good program, but I love the fact that the young guys are getting opportunities, and a guy like Jamal is taking advantage of it. To Sherm's point about Tyrese Halliburton, I think Indiana's resurgence has coincided with him. He came back at the beginning of the year, the Olympic experience. He was questioning himself, I thought, when I watched the way he played. He's hit his stride now, and he's kind of got it going again, and not coincidentally, in my eyes, the Pacers have taken off.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I'm watching the game last night, and I'm looking at these young guys play, and you can just see the level of comfortability. And Sherm, these are just invaluable minutes for these guys, especially when you look at a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who regularly get contributions from guys at the end of their bench, and big contributions, like game-changing contributions. And so it feels like when you give a team like the Raptors and the players that they have those type of opportunities, this is only going to be, a good thing going forward.
Well, you don't build a muscle without reps.
Yeah.
And these guys are getting reps, and they're getting reps against good competition. I mean, you're playing against a team like Boston, you're playing against a team like Indiana. These organizations have goals, and it's playoff goals. It's trying to go deep in the playoffs. And Boston's trying to win a championship. Those kind of reps you can't duplicate anywhere else.
Yeah.
You can't duplicate defending a Jason Tatum and a Jaylen Brown. You can't duplicate trying to defend a Tyrese Halliburton or trying to execute it with a Miles Turner under the basket ready to block your shot. These are the reps that young players need in order to, in a year, 2 years, to be those guys that are able to respond and go above those type of situations.
Think about this. The back-to-back involved the conference finalists from a year ago after the All-Star break, where, as Sherm says, they have their eyes on goals. And you have Mogbo, Shead, Jacoby Walter. These guys were watching on TV last year, and now they're trying to stop these people or play against them. So that kind of experience is invaluable.
And you mentioned Shead in your last comment, but Mogbo was great yesterday too, and I think things are really starting to slow down for him.
I would love to see him be more aggressive offensively.
Yeah.
Like, he gets the ball in the lane, he's long, he's athletic. I'd like to see him try and finish more. He's so unselfish to a point at times that he's looking for other people when he can do it himself. And I like his defense. I think you could turn this guy into unleash him as a really good, long, athletic wing defender who could switch and play people on the inside as well.
One of the things, Sherm, I heard about him at draft time was that he kind of reminds people of a Draymond Green in that he wants to facilitate.
Yeah.
What do you kind of see from him? What do you think is a projection of a player that Mogbo?
Well, he's much more athletic than Draymond Green, first of all.
Yeah, right.
Second of all, I think his fast twitch, it's really good. Like that second bounce, that change of direction, that catch and just elevate. He's got a lot of that naturally. And I think that as he continues to get stronger and continues to understand, because he's a bit of an undersized big. However, I think that's to his advantage because he's so quick and bigger guys can't move. He made a move against Miles Turner last night where he did a Euro step, which he stepped across Miles Turner's body, and the shot blocker had no rhythm, no timing, couldn't get up to block the shot. He's got that stuff naturally. And once he, the confidence is there, the reps are there, and he gets more opportunities, I think he has a chance to be really good on both sides of the basketball. And that's something that I think when you look down the road in terms of projection, we talk a lot about the core with Scotty and RJ and Grady and all these guys, but Mogbo can be a very good piece if he continues to develop.
If you look at the team that won it in Boston last year, look at the 5 guys they put on the floor, all as we call it now, two-way players. Right? And Mogbo's a guy, I think, that's in line to be one of those kind of guys.
Yeah. All right, great stuff, guys. Jonathan Mogbo spoke after the game. Let's hear from him now.
Just pointed out some goals. How did you feel tonight went on both sides of the floor?
Defensively, it went good. Like we talked about last night, I feel like the biggest thing that I have to do when I get in is my motor. Just be active, whether it's on the ball, off the ball. And I feel like if I do that, that's kind of gets me started offensively. So, I thought that mindset going through today and, led both ends on the floor.
Parker was saying that you were able to, there's a few moves that maybe you've been working on that you were able to put into play tonight. Any in particular?
Just facing up, and trying to catch the big off guard, especially like in the DHO, reject it and then go downhill and use my shoulder bump. He's been emphasizing that a lot, and, I got to continue to do it. I showed it a little bit today, so that's got to be an every game thing, even in practice. So, just continue to work on that and let it show in the game.
You also mentioned that you guys really haven't had a day off since All-Star break, and you're playing your second night of back-to-back. Looked like fatigue went a better factor in the second half. What can you take away from that kind of
it just shows us how hard we want it. I feel like everyone has the same drive, whether it's a long break, short break, everyone wants to get in the gym and, get better. I feel like that's the biggest thing Toronto Raptors is doing right now is we're getting better. So, just continue to work, and, it shows.
I'm TJ Ford, and you're watching the Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest videos and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Works right into the lane, puts it up and in! TJ runs away, fades, fires, Edwards, 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 timeout,